Hey team, Coach Alexa here. So in today's Pillars of Health video, I wanted to talk a little bit about nature. There's so much interesting and emerging research around the benefits that connecting with nature, being out in nature, can have on us both physically and mentally. So for me, it is one of these key pillars for our overall health and well-being. So why is that? Some of it is down to just physically being outside, having the sunlight hitting our eyes, hitting our skin, can be beneficial in terms of our vitamin D intake from the sun through our skin, and also allowing our sort of awake sleep balance to be in the right place by letting natural light come into our eyes. There's some fantastic evidence that being in nature, being able to have that sort of full experience of being able to smell nature, listen to it, see it, maybe touch it, feel that experience, can be quite mindful and can tap into all the benefits that mindfulness can bring us. There's some wonderful studies that show that being near trees or under trees, the chemicals that they sort of let out from their leaves, the impact that has on our bodies and our brains, the calming effect that it can have can be really strong. There's some fantastic evidence that just being in nature a little bit each day can have a really positive effect on our mental health. Now, as runners, you might get a bit of a sense of this, even if you live in quite an urban area. When we're off for a run, you might be, running through a park, you might be running down a river or a canal, easier than sort of running down busy streets sometimes. So we get those little nature connections. It gives us a little bit more spaciousness. I think it makes us often feel a little bit less stressed out, a little bit less overwhelmed perhaps. I'm certainly on my routes around in my local area noticing more of the signs of spring. The snowdrops are up. I think the daffodils are about to come through. Haven't seen any crocuses yet. So being able to sort of notice that sensory experience of being in nature, but notice the fact that it's different every single day. If you're paying attention, there's something to notice about that. So, even if you don't regularly get out on the trails, it's good to do if you can. Escape a little bit further, maybe capture a train or a bus to a new park or a new stretch of the river, or head a little bit out of your city for a little bit of an adventure. Maybe go to a different park run to see a different park and a different natural space. So lots of benefits and lots of opportunities to get out into nature and really enjoy it. Some research that interests me specifically around making physical contact with nature. So, going past and maybe kind of touching the leaves on a tree or some bark, or sitting in contact with the ground, walking with barefoot on a grassy field. So all of those things have shown to have quite a sort of grounding and calming effect on us. And it's really fantastic that the science is coming along and backing this stuff up, because perhaps, many of us as runners will kind of have that sense that being out on a nice run route with a bit more greenery and nature around us does have a positive impact on us. So it's always nice when the science kind of catches up and proves kind of what we know inside often to already be true. And it doesn't make it's not a huge surprise to me, really. It's only a few hundred years ago that we would have been spending a lot more time outside than we do now, and maybe a few thousand years ago when we would have been living outside all of the time. So it's not surprising that our bodies and brains like that sort of environment, is it? If you're interested in finding out more, I'd recommend this wonderful book. It's The Nature Fix by Florence Williams. Beautifully written book. Lots of real science and evidence-based information around how nature is so good for us from all around the world, different cultures and different sort of scientific specialties, but also lots of things that you can try and suggestions in there to better connect with nature and to really make the most of those physical and mental benefits. The more we can get that groundedness, that downtime, that sense of calm, the better we're going to recover from our training, which is going to really help our running. And running on a lovely sort of scenic, more nature infused route is going to help our enjoyment and therefore our performance on the runs as well.